So what I've got here on the table, this is the original binary switch that came on the Monte Carlo that was wired in line with the AC system. Like I say, my system was already converted over to R134A, but this was the binary switch. So basically all this is a circuit. You've got one side and you got the other side, and the circuit is actually open until this switch, in this case being a pressure switch, until it senses the proper amount of pressure, it closes that switch, sending a signal from one side to the other. Now, this particular switch is supposed to be sending, you know, a positive feed, but I believe you can use it for negative. It doesn't really matter. It's just an open switch. So what I've got rigged up here is one of my old sockets that I took out of the turn signal, or the front lights on the bottom of the Monte Carlo. I've got it wired in series with the switch. So this side's getting power. As you see, the light's not on, so this switch is disconnected currently. And this wire right here is going to the positive lead on this pigtail, and then I've got the ground lead going to the battery. So what I have here is a vacuum hose that I've screwed into the bottom of this using the fitting. So I'm going to apply pressure to this with my air compressor. If it works properly, this switch should sense the pressure. It'll close the switch, sending power from this side to this side, therefore completing the power circuit, turning that bulb on. So like I say, I didn't know exactly how the switch worked. Once I figured it out, I wanted to kind of test it just because I'm curious. So I'm going to put this on the end of this tube. That light should come on once I squeeze the trigger. You see that? And it stays on as long as there's pressure. So if it gets too high, which in this case it's not because I don't have the compressor turned up that high, but if it drops, watch this, see, it just shuts off. See, so anyway, like I say, I'm pretty sure most of y'all already knew how that worked, but I was infatuated when I found out, and I had to do this little science project. All right, so basically how this thing was set up in the car, once you turn the AC on, it got 12 volts going on one side, and then the other side was open unless the pressure was proper. This was the dark green wire that goes to the compressor. So once you turn the switch on, the power goes through here. The switch recognizes pressure is adequate. It closes the signal, sends power to the AC clutch, turns the clutch on. That's all this did. And then I believe the other light green wire, which would be this wire, it was two of them coming out of my pigtail. The other one went to the carburetor, or the was either carburetor or the see, actually I don't even know where it went. I would think it went to the distributor to kick up the idle. So don't quote me on that. Y'all know what I'm talking about. But the only thing that's all this did was trigger the clutch and tell the engine that the AC is on to bump up the idle. Now what we need with the LS is we need it to do the same thing, but there's a third function, which is the cooling fans. So as you know, in this car originally had a clutch fan, so that's why that's called a binary switch. It basically only had two functions, turn the switch on and off. Well, on this one, this is what we need to get this one. And I've got my manuals out here. These are basically all the modules that I have in the car currently, and I bought a new one, which I'll go over here in a second. So this is the same thing as this switch, except it's a trinary switch. I decided to get this one. This is actually the one from Vintage Air. And it says it right here. All this is it's got two circuits on it. It's got the clutch circuit, which is for the AC, and then the fan circuit. So this one only has 2 prongs, whereas this one has 4 wires, because they didn't put prongs on it. But it operates the same way, but it also will be able to cut the fan on. So it's the same principle. You got your black group, and then you got your blue group. These are 2 separate circuits built in this switch. So whatever you wire on this side, it's going to come out on this side of this black. So black to black. It doesn't matter if it's positive or negative. So if you wire it up over here, it's not going to connect to that side unless this signal comes from this switch with the adequate pressure. So how I'm going to hook it up, well, first let me show you what I'm going to do, because like I said, this is the trinary switch. So this is necessary to get the proper functioning of the system. So if you don't already know, I do have the Dakota Digital. So this is the control box for the Dakota Digital. This is the BIM module that I also added. This pulls all the data from your OBD-II on your LS computer and sends all that data to here, and in turn sends the information to your gauge cluster. Now I also added the gear selector switch, which is this GSS 3000. For some reason my transmission wasn't sending the gear selector to this, so I decided to get this. Now this also came in handy for my setup because I'm using it also as a neutral safety switch and my reverse light trigger. So these are the modules that I have in there now. But guess what? I got a third one. So, well, fourth one. So this is what I picked up to go along with this switch. It's the PAC 2800 BT. That BT stands for Bluetooth. All of these are Bluetooth compatible. You download the Dakota Digital app and you can actually program all your functions with the app rather than holding and toggling all these switches. So here it is right here. So basically this is a Bluetooth fan controller. Well, it's not Bluetooth fan controller. It's a fan controller that you can program via Bluetooth. So here's the schematic. This came with the controller. This is straight from Dakota Digital. Now I know it says vintage air right here, but if you understand how the diagram is set up, you can use it with any system. So as I pointed earlier, we got your black group and you got your blue group. On here they have listed as black green. Same thing. You got that group right there, and then you got your other group, which is blue. I know traditionally you guys are gonna say you're supposed to wire one side to hot and the other side to ground. Well, that's traditionally. They specifically say in here, let me find the verbiage, but it's specific. No, it's not in here. I take that back. I read on a forum where the guy said you have to run positive, and that's exactly what it's showing right here. So basically what we're gonna do, this is basically the switch inside the car. When you turn the AC on, that's that 12 volts that I was talking about that's gonna come to the switch. We're gonna hook it up on the black wire. So it's gonna run to that black wire, and when the switch senses the proper pressure, it's going to send the 12 volt signal out the other black wire that I'm going to connect to the compressor. That's going to turn the clutch on the compressor. So that's done. That's one side. The other side, traditionally, you would ground this wire to ground, chassis ground, frame ground, whatever, and the other side would go to your ground on your fan relay. That's not how we're going to trigger it because we're actually using this to do all that. So we're going to put a key ignition on one blue wire. The other blue wire we're going to run is going to go directly into this module that's labeled for AC. As you see it right there, AC plus. So once this 12 volts comes into here, this module knows that this clutch has been engaged via this switch, sending that signal. It said, hey, the AC has been cut on. See these two outlets right here? You got fan low, fan high. That's what's going to send your ground signal to the fans, which, like I said, I already have hooked up. And then using this module, it says if you use the BIM module, hold on, let me go back, it's on the top page. Well, before I go there, so just like any of the other modules, you got your ground, your fuse battery, which is going to be a constant 12 volt, and then you're going to have your ignition 12 volt. That's traditionally how you will hook this up. But if you use the BIM module, which I am using, it says here, which I didn't know until I saw it. Where is it at? Right here. If you use the BIM module, you don't have to hook up the ignition, the ground, or even the actual sender, which will be your temp sensor. You can actually plug into the engine or radiator. So if you're using this, it comes with it actually. It comes with this, let me see, it's in here. It comes with this little cable. So I've got one of these already in the car that's running from the original BIM module, this one right here. So this is going to plug into the second port, and then it's going to plug into here. That's going to pull all the power reading. It's going to pull the temp from the engine, from the computer. So that's what that is. So you don't have to ground this situation here. You just run this wire. It's got your black, green, and red. So black, ground, red, hot, and green is going to be the signal. So all that information is going to go into this box from your BIM module. So that's why when you look back on this setup here, it's got it here, but if you hook up that BIM, then you don't need to hook these up. Now, if you're not using the BIM, you will have to hook each one of these up, and then you will have to plug up that temp sensor wire into here. But I'm not using a temp sensor wire into any of my modules. My temp sensor is plugged up to the computer, and then this is reading the computer, sending out the temp sensor, temp reading. So I hope that's not confusion. I know that's a lot of information, but I'm just kind of giving y'all an overview so y'all understand what I have going on and what I'm in the process of doing. So let's go over to the car and I'm gonna show you, because like I said, some of y'all don't know that I already have relays set for my fan. All right, so there's my fan relays right there, these two right here. Okay, and I have dual fans on my radiator, as y'all can see. This is fan 1, that's going to be fan 2. So this one comes on when the computer tells it. I believe mine's set for 160. That one comes on at 170. or when the AC's on, they both should come on. And I've got everything wired down here. So this is the relays, like I said. The fuses are down here, and then this is just a bus bar block. It's weatherproof. It's got weather seals. I've got a cable coming from the battery. I believe that's what this is right here. Yeah, so I've got a cable coming in from the battery, and then everything on this side that needed 12 volts is going to this box, as well as the alternator with the, I believe, 160 amp fuse on that. What is that? Mega fuse, 160 amp mega fuse. So that's how my fans work. Like I say, it's already wired up. Everything comes on like it's supposed to, but that's not what we're trying to figure out. What I've been trying to figure out is this situation over here. All right, so let's see. If your plug looks like this, which it should. Now, I know I've seen some that only have 2 wires. I don't know. I've seen it. Mine has 3. I'm not sure why some only have 2. But this third wire, all it is this light green wire. This is coming from the inside of the car. See it right there? That wire is actually on the back side of your HVAC controls. If you pull that HVAC control out, you'll see this wire on there. So this is coming in to here. And like I said, it's got 3 connections. The other side of the wire, let me see. So this is coming in right here, the one that's on the outside. The middle one, it's just butt connected inside there, or however they got it, and it's just coming right off like that. So this isn't in the harness. This is just coming off of the connector. So this was the wire that I was saying that bumps up the RPM. I can't remember, like I think it went to the distributor. Correct me if I'm wrong. You carburetor guys, let me know. Did this go to the distributor or the carburetor? Electric carburetor, electronic choke carburetor. Let me know, because I'm not positive on that, but I know it went to the whatever is going to kick up the idle on the engine. That's what this is. And this dark green wire, like I say, it's not in the harness either. It's strictly coming off of this plug. And the dark green one is the one that runs to the compressor itself, that gets the 12 volt power once this sensor sends the signal out, or closes the circuit, sends out the 12 volts. So that's how it works. I have it hooked up properly, but in the midst of doing that, I'm like, okay, well, my fans ain't cutting on when I turn the switch on. I wasn't getting 12 volts because the switch is not sensing pressure, but I jumped it with the jumper wire, and you can hear the clutch engage. You can hear it going click, click, click. When that happens, the fan should be cutting on. So to alleviate all that, like I say, that probably can be tuned into the computer, which a couple of you guys actually told me that. I believe you. But I'm gonna go on the safe side and go ahead and put this fan controller in right now until I make it to a tuner, because actually I'm in the process. I've already ordered if you haven't followed me, I do have a leaking heater core. So while I'm in there changing that out, I'm gonna go ahead and replace the evaporator core as well. So I've got a bunch of stuff coming. I ordered from Rock Auto. Should be here Tuesday. So I'll probably be installing that on Wednesday. So let me get these wires situated. So basically at this point, I don't even need this plug, because this plug doesn't fit on the new Trinary switch. So I'm just gonna cut it off. I'll leave the wires long, and all I need is this light green wire that's coming from the inside of the car. So I'm just gonna cut that, and then, well, actually I don't even have to cut this. I just need to cut this one wire off, because the other ones are just attached to this. And I'll just snake those out, and I just need to cut it off with this pigtail that I nicely soldered on. So let me do that, and let me get everything laid out, and then I'll install the Trinary switch over here. We'll get the fan controller mounted somewhere. Well, I probably won't mount it right now, but I'll get it inside the car. One other thing that I was gonna do is I've got to fish out my 12 volt ignition wire, which is the pink wire that comes off the bulkhead. It's in here because that's what's running to my fans for its trigger wire. And I also have my brake booster wire into that. If y'all don't know, this is an electronic booster that gets 12 volt key on. So I'm gonna take that pink wire out of here. I've got like 3 or 4 wires tapped into one, so it's getting kind of congested. So what I'm end up doing is I bought where is it? It's over here, matter of fact. I'm gonna wire everything to this little box right here, strictly for key on power. So probably just gonna have it just set it right here. It's got a little rubber bottom. I was trying to keep my fenders clean, but I'm probably gonna wire that there, and it's got a rubber seal on it to make it waterproof. So basically you're gonna have that pink wire. I'm gonna put a ring terminal on it and mount it here, and as you can see, I've got 6 inputs I can run 12 volts off of, and they all got little the little green weather pack things to go in there to keep this nice and dry. So I'm gonna wire that in later, not right now, but I just want to show y'all that. So I'm gonna go ahead and fish this wire out. We'll get it prepped and ready. Now, one thing I wasn't sure about. All right, one thing that I'm not sure about is the wires that are gonna run from the fan controller to the relays on the fans, the blue and green wire. I'm not sure if because what I'm planning on doing, well, what I want to do is just tap those into the wires that are currently there, meaning it'll have two inputs. It'll have the fan wires coming from the controller, as well as the fan wires that are already coming from the LS computer. What I'm not sure about is if those wires will interfere with each other, meaning if the LS computer senses those wires, meaning if the temperature isn't where it's supposed to be, if it's going to throw an engine code. It shouldn't, but that's my concern. So for the sake of this video though, I'm just going to hook it up straight from the controller. I'll omit the wires coming from the LS computer, and then I'll play with it once I get everything working functionally. So if I can have them both hooked up, that'll be fine. If not, then I can just run off the fan controller. But that was really my only concern with those wires, so I just wanted to point that out. All right, y'all, so we 90% there. I got all the wiring done. I just need to program the module, and I'm gonna try to see if I can test it out. So let me show you what I got wired up so far. And I think I'm gonna end up putting a connector off this Trinary switch, because you have to twist it in, obviously, and you're not gonna be able to twist it out with all these wires the way they are. So what I'll probably do is I'll probably put a 2-pin connector right here, and then a 2-pin connector right here. Yeah, one on each for the black set and for the blue set. That way I can just unplug it, because right now I can't take it out because I can't twist it. But I only have, and I went ahead and actually put this wire on. I shouldn't have. These are just twisted on. This one's already soldered and heat shrink. So Trinary switch installed. Light green wire coming from the interior. When you turn the switch on the AC control, heater, HVAC, whatever, this wire gets 12 volts when you turn that switch on, with the key on, obviously, key on or run. So that 12 volts going to come into here. Pressure switcher is going to do its work. Pressure switch is going to do its job. Read the pressure in this canister. If it's reading properly, or if it's the proper pressure, it'll send that 12 volts out of this wire right here. This wire, once again, is going straight to the compressor. That's what's going to trigger the clutch. So that side is done. Trigger switch goes out. When that pressure switch triggers at 12 volts, it's also going to close this circuit, where on this side, this is a key on 12 volt. This is pink wire. Same thing, 12 volts is coming in here. It's not going to go out until this switch triggers it and closes. It's going to send out that 12 volt. This blue wire is running into the cab, and it's going into the Dakota Digital fan controller box under the AC input. So that's what that is. So if we come over here, that pink wire that y'all see, that's the 12 volt ignition. Like I said, I just tapped into the pink wire that comes off the bulkhead. I'm going to put that distribution block, or that bus block that I showed you earlier, because I got these two wires for my fans, relays. I've got this wire right here, this red one, if you can see that, that's for the brake booster. And I got this one, so I need to clean this up. But I wanted to test it out first. So 12 volt, key on, blue wire going into the interior. That blue wire is this wire right here coming in. Oh no, it's not that one. It's this one, excuse me. I got too many blue wires. It's this blue wire. The reason I know that, because I put bullet connectors on these. So this is the blue wire that's coming in. So let me show you where it's going. That blue wire that's coming in off of the Trinary switch. This is the control module right here. Excuse all the wires, but I had to pull some stuff out so I can get everything sorted. So this is the fan controller. Okay. This plug right here, this 3-wire red, green, and black, that's running to the original BIM module that I have in here, which right now I just got it hanging right here. It plugs right here. It's got two extra, we had one extra plug. So I'll plug that into there. What that's going to do, the BIM module is reading all the vitals from the OBD-II. So it's going to send all that information here, meaning speed, and temp. Those are really the only two that you need that's programmable. So that's what that is. So because I'm using this right here, I don't have to plug up, I don't have to put an input for the ground circuit here, the ignition circuit, or right here where it says sender. The sender, that's basically your temp. If you weren't using the BIM module, you would have to put your temp wire here, coming from either a sensor or coming from, well, more likely just a sensor or a probe. I think you can use like a probe, which I'm not using. But so because I'm using the BIM module, you don't have to use the ground, ignition, or sender. So as you see, I do have wires plugged in here. The battery plus has to be hooked up regardless, because this is constant. This module needs constant power. And as you can see, if you can look right here, you should see a red light blinking. See that blink? Same thing as the module. If you look up to the top right of the screen, the one right over there, you see that light blinking as well. So these always get 12-volt constant, but that's for like a memory, I believe. But nothing comes out until the ignition is on. So then we got AC plus. That's the blue wire that I just showed you that was coming in from the Trinary switch. That's this right here. So when the Trinary switch kicks on, when the clutch kicks on, the Trinary switch sends power to the clutch. It's also going to send power to this input, letting this module know that the clutch is on, the AC is running. When that happens, it's going to send power out of the fan. So this is fan low, fan high. So I think I got it right. I think I got green and black. I have to double check, but green for fan low, blue for fan high. So that's basically how that's set up. This white wire, this is the wire that's coming off my PSI harness, the original LS computer. That's the AC recognition wire. So I just tapped it into here because that's basically what that is. It's a 12-volt recognition. So the computer, the LS computer knows that the AC is on, and it should bump up the RPM, or to maintain a high or a decent idle, high idle, whatever y'all want to call it. So I just doubled up these two, put them in the AC plus. And like I say, the green and blue right here is going out. These are going out to the fan relays that I showed you earlier under the hood, which I just have them under the dash, and I put bullet connectors on them so I can disconnect them anytime I need to, so I don't have to keep cutting them. So that's what these two are right here. So we got blue-green for the fan, and we got a standalone blue wire for the AC recognition. So that's the gist of hooking it up. I know this looks like a mess. Okay, so bear with me while I clean everything up. And what I'm going to try to do, all right, what I will attempt to do, that little science experiment I did with the light bulb, I'm going to try to do the same thing with the Trinary switch, but I'm going to do it on the car to see if I can get enough pressure in the switch to trigger the function. So see if I can get the clutch to engage and see if it'll trigger the fans. Now, I did do some more reading because I was talking about when the fans will cut on. The sensor, it's got a low point of 20 psi and a high point of 400 or something, but when the AC is on, it says the fan won't trigger until it's about 240 psi. So I'm not sure if I can emulate that with my air hose, because my compressor is only 200 psi. So I'm not sure if I can emulate that switch, but as you saw, that other one clicked on. So we'll give it a shot. If I don't get it, I won't put it on camera, but I'm gonna try it off camera. If I get it to work, I'll show y'all, but I'm gonna try to emulate that as part of a test. But I got a package that just came in, so let me take you over here. This wasn't supposed to come in until Tuesday, so it's here now. So that's part of the AC stuff that I'll be getting ready to replace. So let me take you over here and show you what all I got. So good old Rock Auto. So this is part of the package. I think one item is separate. It's gonna be here Tuesday because I just double checked it. But this is the evaporator core, the heater core, and some other stuff. So let me open this up and see what's all in here, and hopefully if everything's there, I can get started on this tomorrow, get that heater box squared away, put on the table. I bought a bunch of stuff. Got some more oil to go on the evaporator core, because I had already put the oil in the AC evaporator core. Did they put them both in here? I know that's not it. Let's find out. Let's put this on the floor. Nah, they gotta be both in here, because what is this? Replacement for OEM. Let's start with the little one. Can y'all see? Yeah, y'all can see. is this? Oh, it is that. Ain't that thing small? I thought this was bigger than that. I was trying to figure out what the hell this was. This is the, man, is this the right one? This is the heater core. It don't look like it's that small. Is that the right one, y'all? I mean, it's for the Monte Carlo. I thought it was bigger than that. Huh, interesting. And it comes with whatever this is, some type of seal. So there's the heater core. I don't know why I thought this thing was bigger than that. Hold on, let me go over here real quick. Nah, that's it. Okay, so that's here. So the heater core is here. So the evaporator core must be this big box, which obviously that one is bigger. So let's open this up, check it out. If y'all want to fast forward, y'all can to the part where I'm testing out the, oh yeah, that's it, okay. So this is the AC evaporator, and this sucker's pretty big. Let me see, get it out of here. They got it packaged pretty nice too. As long as I don't drop it. So here's that. Oh yeah, I like that. Okay. So we got that. They're sealed up. Okay. And I picked up a couple of other items. Got some more PAG oil. PAG 150. Because I had already put the oil in this, the one that's in there, so I'm just going to go ahead and swap it out. It's the original one to my knowledge. I don't know if it's ever been changed, but I've never changed it. But I put the oil in there when I had hooked the compressor and all that up when I first got it. So this is the relay, or the fan blower, the fan motor resistor, or whatever they call it. Let me get this open. Mine works, but I figure since I'm getting ready to do some stuff, just go ahead and tidy up. This was only like $4 or $5. So we got a new one of those. And I believe this should be a orifice. Yeah, it is an orifice tube. So I got a new orifice tube because I'm replacing this, and that I replaced that orifice tube already, so it's in there. So since I'm taking this off, I'm just gonna put a new one on. And I had ordered a the relay, the actual fan relay. This is the resistor. I ordered the relay too. It was on closeout for like 58 cents. So I just got it because, I mean, 58 cents, and that's why it didn't come, because that item got shipped separately. So that's that. So like I said, if y'all want to fast forward, y'all can to where I'm testing this out, but I just wanted to show y'all I got all my AC stuff in, so I'm gonna go be doing that probably tomorrow. I'll get up early enough to get it done before the playoffs start, because I want to sit down and relax and watch some football. So this is where we at. So now back to the wiring. All right, y'all got the screws, the beeping, because I need gas. But I'm trying to show y'all, I got it somewhat programmed, and I'm in test mode here just to show you that the fans are running. Matter of fact, let me put this other microphone up front. Hold on. All right, so let's go in here and I'm gonna show y'all. Let's go fan. So right now it's off. Watch this. See that? I can set it on 2. Got low speed, high speed. I had it earlier where I was. Let me look at my temps. So I can set my temps. Hope y'all can see this. I don't feel like screen recording. So we go temp. We'll set this at 160. That's what I have it factory set. At least that's how my computer's programmed. So 160 for low temp on. It'll cut off at 158. High temp, I had it set at 170. And then it'll cut off at 168 on a high speed. We got Fahrenheit. And then the sender, the directions say, for me, these are our options. You got no gauge, DD1. DD1 if you're using a Dakota Digital temperature gauge with sender. I'm not using that. DD2 is if you're using the Dakota Digital instrument cluster with control box. So that's what we're using. So we're going to select that for DD2. That's our temp sender. So that means it's going to pull the temperature from the gauge cluster / the BIM module. So we got fan, temp sender, and that's really all the options you get. I'm trying to find the speed. I don't know why it's not showing up in here. You're supposed to be able to set a speed, vehicle speed, for the fans to cut off if you're going at or above that particular speed. So, but once again, let's go back into here. We go fan. Oh, and also you got key off delay. I'm gonna leave. I think you can turn it off, but I'm gonna leave it on. I'm gonna leave it on the default, which is 30 seconds. Basically, what that means is once you turn the car off, the fan will run for 30 seconds before it actually shuts the fan off. A lot of you guys probably will use that if you have turbo or supercharger, just to cool the engine down before it actually shuts the fan off. So let's do that again. Let's do the test. Yeah. So we got the fans running through this. Let's go out front real quick. Oh, real quick. So I turned the key off and you can see the countdown. It's not running because I didn't have it crank it up, but the gauges will stay on as well until that countdown is complete. So, all right, so I'm gonna do this test real quick. I got the vacuum line hooked up to the switch. I've got the blower motor blowing, or the fan. So the air conditioning is in the on position. If you'll take a good look at the compressor, you should hear it as well as see it. Alright, so if you take a quick look at the compressor, I'm going to go ahead and put some compressed air to trigger this Trinary switch. It'll click the compressor on with just the air. Watch this. You see it? Now in essence it should turn the fans on as well, but I believe the car has to be running. I'm not sure, but you heard the fans running earlier, so the switch is working. So just wanted to throw that piece in there real quick. Alright, so I know it seemed like I was all over the place with that, but you get the gist of the wiring. If you have any questions, let me know for sure. But the schematics are pretty straightforward. Wiring it up is not a problem. Just making sure everything functions is. And like I said, I'm in the process of swapping out my heater core and my evaporator core, so I can't truly give it a test until I'm able to crank the car up with pressure on the AC system. So I need to go ahead and get everything buttoned up so that I can get my system charged. Because at this point, I've got everything I need for the air conditioning. So I just need to get everything buttoned up so I can get it charged up, do a vacuum test, charge it up, and then we can crank it, let it run, let the compressor do what it's supposed to do, let the accumulator gain pressure so it'll trigger that switch, and then we'll see what happens from there. So stay tuned. Thank you once again for rocking with your boy. If you haven't already, go ahead and hit that like, comment, and subscribe. Hit that notification bell so you'll be notified when I'm dropping the next video. I usually don't like making two-part videos, but sometimes, like this video probably is already over 30 minutes. Sometimes you don't really have a choice to get your point across without rushing it. You have to make it how it kind of flows. So till next time, Penny LS1, holla at your boy. Alright, so if you take a quick look at the compressor, I'm going to go ahead and put some compressed air. See it? Now in essence, it should turn the fans on as well, but I believe the car has to be running.